It was my first time going on a hunting trip. I was 21, and my friends Anthony, Christian, Tom, and Tom's girlfriend, Diana, invited me along to some remote park in Colorado to hunt elk. Since I wasn't into hunting, I hadn't planned to shoot anything myself, but after Anthony kept asking, I eventually said yes. We packed 2 tents, sleeping bags, food and drinks for 2 days, and of course, guns. I couldn't even tell you what kind of rifle Anthony handed me. It looked like a standard hunting rifle. I wasn't really comfortable with the idea of killing an animal for sport, and I didn't see the appeal, but I wanted to give it a try since my friends were so into it. Halfway through the drive, we parked and then hiked a mile or so into the woods to set up our camp. After the tents were pitched, Anthony eagerly started talking about different hunting techniques and strategies. Everyone else seemed to be taking it seriously, so I tried joking around by asking if he might scare away potential game with all this talking. He wasn't amused and gave me a glare that let me know he didn't appreciate the joke. I kept quiet after that, figuring I'd just follow along. Not long after we set off on our hunt, we encountered a group of 3 men who immediately put us all on edge. They were big, unkempt, and dirty, with long matted hair. They looked like something straight out of a horror movie, like they'd been living in the woods for who knows how long. As we passed, they gave us a nod, almost as if to say hello, but it was unsettling. We were deep in the forest, far from the parking lot, and it felt unnerving to run into people out there who seemed out of place. We were all relieved when they didn't follow us. And eventually, we shook off the weird feeling and resumed our hunt. After a while, Anthony managed to shoot a deer, though we hadn't seen any elk. We dragged it back to our campsite, where Anthony and Tom set to work cleaning it for our dinner. I wasn't interested in watching them skin and gut it, but I had to admit, Anthony was well prepared. He'd even brought buns so we could make venison burgers. While I didn't necessarily agree with the whole hunting thing, I was impressed by his skill and preparation. That night, we went to bed as soon as it got dark, with the fire still crackling outside. Anthony and Christian seemed to fall asleep right away, but I tossed and turned, uncomfortable in my sleeping bag. I was about to get up to go outside when I heard footsteps nearby. My first instinct was to call out to Tom or Diana, but I stopped myself, wondering who it might actually be. I lay completely still, listening intently. Then, to my shock, the zipper on our tent started to come down. My heart was racing, so I turned my head to the side, pretending to be asleep. After a brief pause, the zipper went back up, and I heard the footsteps move off in the direction of Tom and Diana's tent. I figured it must be Tom or Diana, maybe checking on us before they could sneak away for some privacy, so I decided to pull a little prank on them. I waited for a few minutes, then quietly unzipped my tent and crept over to theirs. Oddly, I noticed their tent zipper was already undone. Thinking it was a bit strange, I still moved closer, ready to startle them. But when I peeked inside, I was horrified to see 2 of those men from earlier in the day inside the tent with Diana, doing something to her. I screamed as loudly as I could, partly in shock, but also to wake everyone up. Anthony and Christian shot out of our tent, rifles in hand, and as soon as the 2 men in Diana's tent saw them, they bolted. It suddenly hit me. These were the same men we'd seen earlier in the woods. Anthony and Tom fired a few warning shots, and that's when things took an even darker turn. All around us, men who had been hiding in the bushes or behind trees started fleeing in all directions. It was as if we had wandered into some bizarre, nightmarish setup, and now they were all scattering. We rushed over to check on Tom and Diana. They were unconscious, and we realized these men must have injected them with some kind of tranquilizer. There was nothing we could do except wait for them to wake up, which thankfully only took about half an hour. As soon as they were conscious and able to walk, we grabbed what we could and began running back to the car in the darkness. That mile-long run through the pitch-black forest, knowing we'd been surrounded by God knows how many people, was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. To this day, We don't know who those people were or what they had planned. Were they some kind of reclusive, dangerous group? A family living off the grid? We didn't stick around to find out. Whatever their intentions, we were just grateful that we all made it out of there alive.